This is Susan, and today for her makeover, we are looking at how to do makeup on tattooed eyeliner to give it a nice soft appearance. How did we get here? Let's find out. First of all, I'm going to start with some C serum, very important in the morning. This is 80% tetrahexadecyl ascorbate vitamin C, an oil-soluble, very potent form of vitamin C. Then I put on top of that some foundation. So this is a sheer to medium coverage foundation. I really like that level of coverage for mature skin. I don't like a full coverage foundation. This has a nice dewy finish, and as you see, I put it over the top of her tattooed eyeliner. I really want to soften everything down a little bit to get rid of some of those edges that tattooing can bring about. So I'm removing the pink in her cheeks. I'm just evening out her complexion. Then I take the concealer and I use it under her eye as well as a little bit over her eye in order to do the same thing. I'm just looking at, evening out her skin tone, softening up those lines of the tattoo, because I am going to put sort of a warm brown on top of the tattoo in order to make it a little bit of a softer tonality. As tattoo ages, it tends to turn a little bit more of a blue color. Then I'm using a little bit of a pink tint for her under eye circles. This can serve as a highlighter so that when light hits it, it bounces off as opposed to covering like a concealer. I just don't want to keep adding products. I try really hard to do brighteners, highlighters, things like that, as opposed to just foundations and concealers. Then I toss a little bit of powder on top. I want her to have a dewy finish, but I need to take out a little bit of the shine. See, that looks great. It's softened everything down. Now I'm going to put just a little pink lipstick on top since she has kind of a nice pinky corally top on with some lip liner just to keep it on her face. But as you can see, that's a really flattering soft color. I think that Susan has a really good coloring to her skin, so I'm just trying to flatter her beautiful coloring. Here's a little Melba blush. So this is more of a peachy tone blush, and I think it goes well with the top as well as keeping with kind of a summery look since we are in the summer when I film this. There, she likes it. Yeah, that looks great. Then I'm taking exactly the same blush and I'm using it in her crease. Sometimes you can use blush in your crease, sometimes you can't. Sometimes the pigments don't really work on the eye area. It just depends on the product. This one in particular is fine. And this way I can really use the same color on her cheeks, her eyes, a little bit on her chin, just warms up her whole complexion. So this is a warm brown color and I'm just putting it on top of the tattoo. I'm using a thin brush and I just place it on top. So this just softens those lines down a little bit, but you still have the density from the tattoo. See, that's actually very flattering. And it's easy to do. This is something takes one step in the morning and it just softens it down. Then I'm using a little bit of a frosty rosy tone in the inner eye just to brighten up her inner eye area just a little bit. Sometimes I think the younger generation puts a little bit too much on their inner eye. It's a bit distracting. On older skin, I think it can be definitely too much, especially if you have any creepy skin there, so be careful. Then I put a little mascara. Only on the upper lashes. I really like mascara on upper lashes only when it comes to older skin, sometimes lower lashes, but sometimes that can bleed a bit, and also it can look too heavy. I think the fine line with mature skin is always, how do I make it look bright and happy and beautiful and diffused without having any cakiness or heaviness. Then I'm going to use a little bronzer. This is just a lovely warm bronzer. So as you notice, I did blush first and bronzer second. It really doesn't matter what order you do these things. I like to peck away at a face, so I'll just start with what interests me, and then I go at it sometimes in a very circular way, which sometimes isn't very helpful. I'm sorry about that. But I do really like a little bronzer on her to go with her lovely shirt color. I'm just going to fill in her brows a bit. This is just a brunette eyeshadow color. You can also use a pencil if you like. I just want to make her brows a little bit more distinct. And this is the end result. Please go to my website at thebeautyshaman.com and sign up for my newsletter, where I have insider deals and discounts every single week. Thank you so much for watching The Beauty Shaman.